Hello, Kiara, and welcome to your mini reading. So what we're going to get into today is this pie, this circle graph, which is the map of your soul and the sort of blueprint for this chapter that you are enduring right now as Kiara. So we're going to hit some points on here just to give you an idea of what's going on. So first and foremost, you are taking the path of partnership. Do you feel like you're missing your other half sometimes? Because chances are you do have other half that you are missing. But it's also interesting that you are your own partner for quite some time. Now, don't worry that you don't have planets here. This just means that you've sort of conquered this already at another time, and it's not the main thing for you. The main things you do have going on here are in connection to if you have any younger siblings, first and foremost. Um, you moving far away from where you came from would be really important with this setup. And your first child, or the special way that you create things and who you share them with. Because, honey, you came to work this life. So let's break that down a bit further for you. So, with you having Libra in the first, automatically that typically gives you beauty. Um, since there are no planets or anything here, I'm just going to tell you that's what that means. You are the agreeable person. This means you're very classy. Everybody likes you typically. You're just agreeable and you appear agreeable to all. Now, this leads to the second house of your gifts and talents that you were naturally given in order to accomplish the path of partnership or balance that you are taking this life. Now, you have Libra in the first, in the second or the first part of this. So for you, that means that you'd be good at balancing things, but that means in a way like law, in relationships. You'd also be really good at literature, politics, or anything with horses. Um, Also, anything that's really bougie, like any aristocratic sort of things are your natural lane, like it's information that you already have stored from other lives. Now, the rest of this cusp is in Scorpio, which means that there's a lot of stuff that you do that you just do undercover and you don't tell anybody about. This could also mean that you would do really good with real estate, taxes, inheritances, um, sex, but using sex like as a job is a possibility with this. Just anything that is you exerting the power of your mind in order to earn money for yourself and live your best life. That's what you were given there. It's really funny because like they gave you this and then they gave you beauty. It's like you're set up to be like a weapon, a lethal weapon of womanness. So this third house is where the main things start for you because you have Scorpio a little bit in the third. You have it through quite a lot. So in the third house, this means maybe at some point you didn't express yourself all the time, but the rest of this, after you go through what you need to and you develop who you are, you develop through, it looks like school was possibly something that was really, really big for you. But after you developed beyond what happened in your childhood, you would develop your own philosophy about life, your own ideas, this brand of optimism, and maybe your own like religion in a way. Like you do things your way, not anybody else's. But that is due to this Chiron here. There's a wound that initially happened to you. It could have been from your siblings, your neighbors, the people you went to school with, that sort of sets you up to not always speak your mind because there's Pluto here too, which means maybe did y'all move a lot? Did you not get to feel roots? That's a possibility with this, but just something about you being free to speak your mind was held off. But that is where your Mars is. That is where your drive is. That means there's something about the way you communicate that is always setting people off, or either people are setting you off and making you have to stand in how you feel or what you believe because of this. At the end of this, you have some Capricorn, which means that eventually you'll be known as a business person in the local area that you came from, because at your core, you are a business person. You're somebody who understands how legacies work. You're really concerned about getting the bag, and that's cool because your South Node, the place you came from, what you did in the last life, was have a family business. This means you could have actually made houses. Maybe you had daycare. You could have just worked from home or been known as some like a locksmith or something, just a family locksmith. But in this life, you might have to deal with reflections of that. You might see that you had to be in a family business, or you had to rely on your family's money with this setup, or you come from a family that is sort of stuffy, mature, really set in their ways. For you, this life is really important that you go out into the world up here and make a name for yourself in your career, doing something that helps women or families or houses, or just being like a big mom figure or being known for your family. but not the family you were born into, the family you create. How would you do that? You're going to do that by using your creativity, your unique self-expression, whatever the inspiration that was that came from your mom, because there's a connection to that. In here, maybe y'all had a friendship, or did you have a cold relationship? But there's something about that. Of course, I would click that right, but oh, look, it made it bigger. You have Uranus, the planet of radical change, your moon, which is your emotional setup, and Neptune, something that has to do with karma here. Was your mom over analytical, or did she help you learn how to organize? Because that would be the connection here, because you have nothing in your 12th house, which means you didn't have a lot of stuff left over. But there was something about that relationship that was karmic and necessary for you to sort of get the skills you needed in order to do what you're about to do. Let me hit these transits for you right quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So transits are how the planets are currently hitting your chart based upon these inside here, which is what you were born with. You have a lot going through your family house and your house of your first child, but then also it's just you figuring out your creativity. What do you want to do? What business are you going to create to put online? And then that's where we jump over here. You are connected to a group of possibly politicians, leaders, entertainers, people who belong on the stage, teachers, people who work with kids also. That's where the way your mind works and who you are as a person is. You belong to a specific group of people. And those are the people that you will lead with whatever your unique brand of communication is. You just have to put it online or network and connect to those people. Right now, any feelings that you have about your own independence, who you are in relationships are being triggered right now for this all to come together, because on a day-to-day basis, you are meant to be of service by either music, dance, photography, art, film, poetry, anything that allows you to share the streams that come through you, the inspiration for other people, because you're going to be a pioneer of something. There is something that you're going to be sharing, and you're going to be doing so in a way that takes you beyond where you came from. Just make sure that you're not afraid to move out in the world if you haven't already. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you.